Some days I'm just full of advice. Some days I'm just full of like real world stuff. Everything we do here is always related to growing a health and wellness business, which in my opinion is probably one of the hardest businesses to grow because it truly is based off reputation, community, authority, expertise, knowledge, so many other things, as opposed to like a product that people will easily, buy or return or they don't place a lot of value on. When there is a true relationship with a health professional, with a practitioner, the stakes are a bit higher. It's a completely different model. Of course, I applaud those that walk that path, which is why, I've dedicated a large part of my career to helping you all grow. But I also sometimes think it's important to just kind of get real, to really talk about some of the issues that affect us in our day-to-day business that aren't always discussed, right? Let's get into it, all right? Let me tell you about a day that I fired a client. And I have fired clients before. I remember the day I fired that client and what it really taught me about my worth. I'm not going to, of course, name any names or anything like that. This particular client, it was a marketing client, a dude. He was very frustrated with his Google ad performance, okay? Very frustrated with his Google ad performance. And that was what my agency was doing for him at the time, doing our best to provide customer service, strategy, all of those things. He instead chose to call me names. I'm not going to actually say the name on the air because I think it's just so disgusting. My coach, Noria, my life coach, Noria, she always tells me to acknowledge when I'm stressed or where I'm feeling pain, like where my body is a part of emotional regulation or whatever. And in my body, y'all, I felt it in my chest and in my neck. I'm a corporate trained entrepreneur, so obviously there's a level of professionalism that I just carry naturally. First thing was, who the fuck you talking to? Then the second thing was, run that back one more time, say it with your chest. Because he said this on text. It was not verbal, it was via text, which is even more calculated, right? More well thought out. Hey, who the fuck you talking to? And run that by one more time. And I was just so nervous about my response. Why? Because I didn't want to lose a client. That was my thought at the time. That was old Lauren. And I had to sit with myself. I was mad that it took a few hours or an overnight or me venting with my husband and talking with my partner at the time. I'm mad that it took that much time for me to instantly know that this person isn't for me. I was mad that at the time, I guess my energy and my chakras weren't aligned. So I actually knew and understood my self-worth, that the value that I'm providing this man, and he has the nerve to call me a name that basically is illegal. You don't call people that shit. I was mortified. It actually brought tears to my eyes. Y'all know I'm a bad bitch, whatever, but it brought tears to my eyes. My feelings were hurt and I was offended. I had to step away from the moment and say, wait a minute, Lauren, you have way more value and you're worth so much more than what this man is giving you. And you need to wake up and realize that. We all know the saying, not all money is good money, but we all need to put that energy out there and be hyper selective with the folks that we choose to have a patient-physician relationship with or a client-consultant relationship with or whatever your structure is, that you want to make sure you're putting out that words and the energy that the clients that you get are aligned with your mission. And in no way is any client of mine that's calling people names, folks that they have a professional relationship with, in no way would they be on mission for me, not even on brand for me. I don't even want to have a fucking drink with you at the bar. If I can't even pass that test, ain't no way you're going to be my client. Ain't no way I'm going to have this energetic exchange with you just because I need the money. In fact, what we're going to start saying is that we're way more abundant than the one client. And by closing that door for not all money is good money and closing off that access to you, because once they have access to you is when they can start to, peel behind the layers and kind of make you not act like yourself, right? I had to close off that access. And guess what happened? I got 3 more clients to replace that one. Just because I made a choice to wake up to something different, to a different relationship with my clients that want to have the same results that I do, that want to work with me on their branding and marketing. And after that whole emotional experience, it was an immediate ripple effect for me, y'all. And it can be the same for you. Getting more clients. Yes, I slept better. I raised my prices because clearly I wasn't charging enough for people to be calling me out my name and typing in all caps and shit and thinking that that's appropriate. And I stopped chasing misaligned leads. Does anybody relate with that, where they just maybe had a period of time where they were just kind of wading in the water water in their business and were taking in clients that maybe necessarily weren't the best fit because you felt like you needed it, I'm going to challenge you to change your perspective on the clients that you attract and actually say it out loud that your business deserves clients aligned with you and your mission and that will happily pay your rates and your prices. That's what you deserve. And that's what we have to start saying out our mouth. It makes space for better clients. It made me feel more confident on discovery calls because I don't have to say yes to everyone. That's why we use applications on discovery calls so we can help filter out the people that just aren't meant for us. It doesn't mean that we can't serve the people that maybe don't have the money or don't have the resources. You place so much more value on your time and your energy that you'll create other ways for people to have access to those free money and resources without clogging up a discovery call that could yield you 4, 5, 6, 10K. Got it? I want you to start walking in that vein where you're marketing yourself with a new voice and a new energy and knowing for sure that you're just not for everyone. I know for a fact that I ain't everybody's cup of tea, bruh. I know that for a fact. I know that I'm not everybody's flavor. And I'm not here to beg for respect. And I'm certainly not here to prove anything to you other than that I'm here, that I'm going to show up, that I'm always going to provide value to you, and that I'm offering a high-level strategy. I'm not an order taker. I'm a strategist. I'm a consultant. You that are listening, you're a practitioner, you're a healer, you're a wellness guide, you're an expert. You don't have to say yes to everybody. I want you to be so hyper-selective. Your only homework after this is to go take a look at the funnel to the way that people get to you. And are you creating enough respectable barriers where you feel like you're still accessible to your audience and that people will still value your time and know that, hey, you better show up on this call. You better show up on time. You better show up ready because in this 30 minutes with me, you're going to get your whole life served to you on a platter. That's what I want you guys to walk into. And knowing that it's okay if someone's like making your eye twitch, or you know that about 30 days in, they're going to go crazy or be bipolar or act like a fucking nut. If you know that, if you have that feeling in your gut, because as my mentor, JJ says, it's either a hell yes or a hell no, it should be the exact same way your clients should feel about you. You should feel the same way about them. Yes? All right, so this is a little motivation, just, a little storytelling today. I hope it impacts you and your business differently and up-levels your confidence so that you know the next time you ain't got to say yes. And it's okay to let a client go and it's okay to bless them on their way for the next person that's able to serve them. Because it's likely if they were crazy with you, they probably are crazy with other people and have a string of folks that have been left in their trail, right? Guys, I want you to be inspired and be motivated and stand tall in your worth. Your business deserves money and it deserves to attract the right clients that are aligned with you. Share this message to anybody that needs to hear it. I want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Y'all, if I can help you, let me know, okay? I'll see you next week. Peace.